Hello class, this is going over the unit 6.1 through 6.3 quiz review. Like I said in class, please watch through this video. I'll go through 1 to 2 problems of each section. That way that leaves us with a less amount of problems to go through in class as a review before the quiz. I want to make sure you get as much time possible for the quiz as possible. So let's take a look at the first section. So we need to write in slope-intercept form. What is slope-intercept form? If you need to write that as a reminder, we want y equals mx plus b. Key here, we have a slope, we have a y-intercept. Alright, so what this part is pretty easy. They tell us the slope, they tell us the y-intercept. So it's just a matter of inserting these values into the equation. So we have y is equal to our slope, which they tell us is 2, times x plus our y-intercept, which happens to be 3. And that is our final answer. And then going through the second one, we have the slope is -5, so m equals -5. And we have the y-intercept, so that's our b value, equals 1. So we have y equals -5 times x plus 1. Final answer. So then, for the second section, write in slope-intercept form the equation of the line shown in the graph. So slope-intercept form, what is that again? Y equals mx plus b. Alright, so we need a slope, and y-intercept. Okay, so let's take a look at 13. Where is it? Let's look for the y-intercept because that's going to be easiest. It's where is it intersecting the y-axis? So notice here, it's intersecting at 2. So our y-intercept is at 0, 2. And then for the slope, you could have done one of two things. You could have picked 2 points off the line and used the slope formula, or you could have picked another point on the line, kind of like what's shown down here, and then drew that triangle of how one point got to the other. So notice how this point got to this point. It rose 2 and ran 2. Key thing here, rise over run. That will really help you if you remember that that's what slope is. So our rise was 2 and our run was 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. So over here, we want it in slope-intercept form. So we have a slope, which is 1, and we have our y-intercept, which is 2. So this is going to be y equals 1x plus 2. And you don't have to write the 1 there if possible, because 1 times any number is just itself. And let's take a look at number 14. Once again, we're going to look for the y-intercept, because that's pretty much the easiest thing. So notice here, it intersects the y-axis at 3. So our y-intercept, just writing down here, is at 0, 3. And then I'm going to use the triangle thing again because that's the easiest here. So drawing another point on the line and then drawing that triangle to see how one point got to another. Notice how this point got to this point because we read graphs left to right. It dropped 3, so it rose -3 and it ran 3. So our slope is going to be, our rise was a -3, our run was 3. -3 divided by 3 is a -1. So what do we get? So we have our slope, we have our y-intercept, so we have y is equal to -1 times x plus 3. Alright, so for the next one, write an equation in point-slope form of the line. Notice, read your directions. Point-slope form is y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. So taking a look here, we need a slope and we need a point for this formula. So slope, notice they have these triangle things where they tell us the rise and they tell us the run. So the rise here happens to be a +4. So m is equal to a +4, our rise over our run, which was 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2, so that is our slope. And then it doesn't matter which point you choose to pick, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to choose 1, 2. So this is our x1, y1. So we have y minus our y1, which happens to be 2, is equal to our slope 2 times x minus our x1, which is 1. And that's all we're looking for. That's all you have to do. Alright, so moving down, next section. Write an equation in point-slope form. If it helps you, write down what you're looking for. So we want y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. And it passes through the given point and has the given slope. So this is just like this first section where they gave us all the information, we just had to put it into the equation. So here we have x1, y1, and we have our slope. So number 1 down here we have y minus 24, that's our y1, is equal to our slope, which is 2, times x minus a negative 2. Notice we can simplify x minus a negative 2, we're actually adding. So y minus 24 is equal to 2 times x plus 2. And that's all you're doing for this section. Alright. So next section. The ones on the back require just a little more work, but not too much. So rewrite the equation in slope-intercept form. Once again, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. And notice they give us an equation in point-slope form. So this is where we had to solve for y. So solve for y. So going through a couple. So we're going to distribute this 1 across. So we have y minus 2 is equal to 1 times x is x, 1 times 3 is 3. And then it's a matter. We're subtracting 2, so we need to add 2 to both sides. And we get y equals x plus 5. That's your final answer. So then going through the second one, once again we're going to distribute the slope first, so 4 across x minus 3. We get y plus 9 is equal to 4 times x is 4x, 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. Alright, so to get rid of this, to solve for y, we're adding 9 right now, so we're going to subtract 9. So we get y equals 4x, and negative 12 minus 9 is negative 21. And that is your answer. So just remember, if you ever need to pause a video to write down a step, that's fine. Alright, so write an equation in slope-intercept form of the line that passes through the points. So we have 2 points here. We'll go through 2 of these. So we have x1, y1, x2, y2. Alright, so x1, y1, x2, y2. So slope-intercept form, we want y equals mx plus b. Okay, notice here, we're going to find the slope first. We don't have the slope, so we need the slope. And just a reminder over here, slope, once again, y2 minus y1 is equal to x2 minus x1. So we're going to put these values into our slope formula. So y2 is 3, and we're subtracting our y1, is 8, all over x2, which is negative 1, and we're subtracting 0. So 3 minus 8 is negative 5. Negative 1 minus 0 is negative 1. So a negative 5 divided by negative 1 is positive 5. Sorry, negative divided by negative is a positive. So this is our m. Alright, now we're going to take a look at our points and determine, do we have a y-intercept? That's when x is equal to 0. And notice right here, we do have x equaling 0. So 8 would be our y-intercept. So b equals 8. So we have to do very little work for this one. So we have y equals our slope 5x, and our b-intercept is 8. Or her y-intercept, our b value is 8. So that's all you had to do for that one. So the other ones require a little more work, because if you notice, the rest we actually don't have any y-intercepts. So we'll go through one more example of that. So we have our points, once again, x1, y1, x2, y2. Alright, so using the slope formula, we need the slope. We have negative 3 and we're subtracting 9, all over negative 5 and we're subtracting 7. So negative 3 minus 9 is a negative 12, and negative 5 minus 7 is a negative 12 as well. Negative 12 divided by negative 12 is a positive 1. So this is our slope. Alright, So we have our slope. We don't have a y-intercept, so that means we have to use the point slope form. We have a point, we have our slope, and it doesn't matter which point you choose to use. I'm going to use -5, -3 just because it has smaller numbers. I don't like dealing with large numbers. So we have y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. I might have to end up working down here a little bit. Alright, so we have this is our x1, y1. So we have y minus a -3, is equal to our slope, which is 1, times x minus our x1, which is a -5. Notice we have to do a little simplifying. We're subtracting some negatives. So we have y plus 3 is equal to 1 times x plus 5. Right? And now it's just a matter of doing what we did in the top section right above us. So we're going to distribute the slope. So we have y plus 3 is equal to 1 times x is x, 1 times 5 is 5. We're adding 3, so the opposite of adding 3 is subtracting 3. So we get y is equal to x plus 2. And that is the equation of our line that passes through those 2 points. Alright, so hopefully this helps. We'll go through as many as we can on the rest tomorrow. Please take any notes or take as much notes as possible or as needed, and have a good night.